2.
Hello, I'm here with a very special guest. Would you care to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm John Reid. I'm the Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor of Virginia this year.
We are very excited to have you on the interview today. So my first question for you is, what do you think that you bring to the table as a candidate that other candidates might not? What makes you stand out?
Well, I'm a pretty unique candidate for a bunch of different reasons, but the ones that I think people should really focus on and care about. I've been around state politics my entire life. I'm a native Virginian. I was born and raised in Richmond. My father, his name is not on the ballot, mine is, so I don't want to overstate that, but I grew up around the House of Delegates. He served 18 years representing my home county of Henrico. You do learn something from being around that. I volunteered on campaigns from the time I was 10 years old all the way through my college experience, which was in Waco, Texas at Baylor University. So I saw a different type of politics in Texas. I worked for the congressman from Richmond who had been the mayor, Tom Bliley, in the House of Representatives. And then I went out to California and I was the last intern and press assistant to former President Ronald Reagan in California for an entire year, way back in 1993. I was 22 years old.
Wow.
So I traveled around the world with him, traveled throughout California. He was still actively involved in California politics. I really did get to know him personally, which was a blessing. I mean, not many people can say that because when you're in the White House, there's so many people between you and the president, but post-presidency, it was really a wonderful experience to talk to him, and I love to share those stories. But then when I left there, I went into my broadcasting career. I was a reporter in Waco, Texas at the CBS affiliate during the Branch Davidian crisis. Then I went to Richmond and spent 10 years on the ABC station there as one of the anchors and the investigative reporter there. I went to the United States Senate as communications director for George Allen, dealing with some really hot button issues on the Foreign Relations Committee and some of the economic issues. We were still arguing about the same things then: deficit reduction, illegal immigration, and how we control that and manage that and still have jobs for Americans and supplement those jobs where necessary. Everyone kicked those issues down the road and didn't deal with them. And look at the problems we face today. It's a lesson to me that you better be man enough to step up and deal with those problems when they first present themselves, or the consequences will be even worse decades later. I then went as communications director of the United States Chamber of Commerce, doing business work. I lived overseas during the Arab Spring and the war in Kuwait and Bahrain, and went to Iraq during the Iraq War to try to help set up the parliament there briefly, and then helped America's veterans get mental health care through the VA. In the last 8 years, I was the host of the Morning Drive talk show about the news at WRVA, one of the biggest radio stations in the state. So a lot of the controversial issues that we've been dealing with for the last decade I addressed on the air, and I decided I had to leave the radio station because I felt like so many people weren't doing a good job, making good decisions, and taking the job seriously. So for the last year, I've been without a paycheck, traveling the state. I became the Republican nominee, and I'm really trying to earn people's trust and confidence with that business and political background that they'll feel good about voting for me this November.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And then my next question for you is, what do you think one of the biggest challenges that you faced on the campaign trail has been, or a very unexpected challenge, one that you weren't quite anticipating when you first put your name in?
Well, it's a little uncomfortable to talk about, and I don't lead with this because I don't think it's the most important thing about me, but I've made history as the first gay candidate in the history of Virginia statewide, Republican or Democrat. And people are kind of surprised by that it's a Republican person who is doing that. And again, I don't judge my entire life through that lens of sexuality, but I know a lot of people do. And so it's been a challenge for me to go around the state and talk to conservative voters who are sincerely very religious. I respect their opinion, even if I can't 100% agree with it. I respect their opinion, and it's been tough to go and campaign as a Republican and try to convince Christian conservatives that they should still support me, because as I tell them, I'm not trying to be the associate pastor of your church. I want to be the lieutenant governor, which means I protect everybody's rights. If you are a Christian conservative and you do not want to participate in a gay marriage, you have every right to have that opinion. It hurts my feelings a little bit, but you know, you don't have to ask for my permission. My feelings don't count. The law is what counts, and the law needs to protect everybody. And I think that's a perspective that a lot of people who've never struggled with the issues that I have struggled with personally and professionally and politically may not fully appreciate. And I'm willing to get out there and fight for everybody's rights, even when they don't agree with me. And I hope that will convince independent voters and some Democrats who are now kind of questioning their party to come over and be supportive of me, I hope.
Absolutely. And then what's one issue, if you're elected, what's one issue that you're excited to take action on when you get into office?
Well, everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants peace and prosperity, maybe emphasis on prosperity.
Of course.
And you know, if you're spending a lot of money and devoting 4 years or more of your time to collegiate study, you want that degree to be worth something in the community that you attended school, or if you want to stay in Virginia. I really am excited about economic development for Virginia. I learned a lot about that working for George Allen. He was a great governor, brought a lot of jobs in. He was great as a senator bringing jobs to Virginia. And I think I'll be able to be an ambassador for the state, not only with the big corporations that are established, but I really want Virginia to be the center of entrepreneurship in America, but certainly on the East Coast, because if I get my way, we're going to have lower taxes than our neighbors. I think we need to recalibrate our tax structure here in the state. You know, Tennessee doesn't have an income tax.
Yes, I do.
So a lot of these people want to go to Tennessee and not to Virginia. We got to fix that. We're in competition with North Carolina and South Carolina. You know, forgive me, my friends in North Carolina and South Carolina, I want to kick your butt. I want us to be the place that people want to open businesses. We make it easy for them to do that. It doesn't cost them a lot of money. And I think with my background, I can help move the state in that direction. And I am excited about that.
That's really amazing. And then final question, where can all of our viewers find out more information about you?
Oh, you're nice. It's johnreid4virginia.com. R-E-I-D is my last name, all spelled out. johnreid4virginia.com. But you know, if you did not ever see me on TV and you didn't hear me on the radio, if you go to Facebook, John Reid for Lieutenant Governor, or X, I really hope you'll see that I've been willing to put in the work to earn the confidence of the voters of Virginia. I am not, unlike my opponent, I'll take a little shot at her, unlike my opponent, I'm not staying in the basement of my house. I'm coming out at 9 o'clock at night to do events on college campuses.
Thank you for interviewing.
I'm happy to do it. I went to the NAACP convention, which is, you know, Republicans, are you supposed to go there? I felt like I had to go do that. That's important. And those voters are important. Maybe, I'm not going to win them all, but maybe some of them will like what I have to say. I went to the mosques in Northern Virginia and met with the imams. I went to the Coptic Christian churches. I have really worked hard to try to be accessible to everybody in the state, because I want you to know I'm serious about doing this job. I'll put in the work, and I care about all the people of Virginia. And I have to show that if I want you to give me your vote. So I hope people will at least give me a shot.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you.